Every great champion knows that success, overcoming, and winning in life is no accident. Creating individual success is like having a recipe for a great meal. It only works if you know how to use the ingredients. As a best-selling author, entrepreneur, business coach, strategist, and champion, the Lewis Howard Live Show provides you the insider's view on winning. All we do is win, 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 helping you become the best version of yourself. Hey, welcome to another edition of Lewis Howard Live into the Lewis Howard channel, wherever you're getting us, Facebook Live, YouTube, Restream. If you're getting the audio version of the show, you're getting us on one of the many platforms, Apple Podcasts. So whether by accident or on purpose, you have joined another episode, and I am glad you're here. And of course, if you're listening on the YouTube channel, I want to give you an opportunity to subscribe to the channel. And if you like the program, subscribe. If you don't like it, subscribe anyway. We're going to be talking about goals. It's the beginning of the year, and everybody sets some type of goal. Most people want to accomplish something in this year. I'm sure after coming out of the previous year, everybody's excited about the new year and making it better. No matter what walk of life you're at, you want to get something out of this thing. But did you know that studies have shown that 85% of the goals and dreams that people set for themselves, not dreams, but necessarily just goals and tasks and to-do lists, 85% of it does not happen. Why is that? Why is it that you set 85% of goals and you miss it? Now, that's important from a mindset standpoint because you want to feel like you're not just accomplishing something by setting a goal. I used to be intimidated when people would write out these goals on the whiteboard, and now we call it the vision board, and I didn't have very many goals. But I also looked at the accomplishment, and I accomplished more with my little goals than those people did with their wall full of goals. Why is that? Why do we set goals to lose weight, but by February, the gyms are empty? Now, in a time of COVID, right, if you had a goal to work out 3 times a week and go to the gym, you can't really do that, depending on where you are in the world and where you're watching this program for. We're under different stay-at-home orders, quarantine, so you can't do that. So are you willing to get up off the couch, put the fork down, do some planks and some push-ups like I do every day? If you don't do that, then you have an 85% chance of not achieving your goal of getting in shape or losing weight. And by the way, that is the number one goal that people set for themselves at the beginning of the year. The first week of January is one of the biggest calorie burns of the year because everyone puts the fork down from Christmas, puts the alcohol down from New Year's Eve, and decides they want to go dry and eat healthy for at least a month. But when you're dealing with stress, challenges, we have go-tos. We eat our way through it. We drink our way through it. We met our way through it. We have different ways of getting through things that affects your goal. So tonight, I thought it'd be good to take a look at some insights on what makes some goals a reality and why others end up in the ditch, right? Why that same board that you're working on in January looks the same about June. So stay with us. You've joined Lewis Howard Live. I'm Lewis Howard. We'll jump into it right after these quick commercial sponsor breaks. Stay with us.
Lewis Howard of Lewis Howard Live has partnered with Amazon Books to bring you his dynamic, life-changing book. From Here to There is the best-selling biopic journey of Lewis Howard's road from adopted child in poverty to achieving over $1 billion in real estate assets. Lewis shares his secrets and principles, which helped make his meteoric rise to the top an inspiration to millions. Lewis Howard, From Here to There, available on Amazon Books at createspace.com/450-6888. Get it today.
Hey, welcome back. Hey, welcome back to the program, to the show. Thank you for joining us. Hey, remember, you can always get us on the YouTube channel. Our past shows are up there. We've done some pretty cool shows, King of the Jewelers. We've got some new shows, Brace Yourself. We've got a couple new shows coming out with the Clean Water Foundation that we did with Leon McLaughlin. So we're just going to keep loading the content up there. You can share it. You can download it. You can tell a friend. And, of course, we are on the 15 different platforms of the audio around the world, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, podcast.com. We are on it, working to help you become the best version of yourself. Today I'm talking about dreams, talking about goals, talk about tasks, something you hear every day, right? You can go on to YouTube and you can listen to programs like the Goldcast, and you hear how big stars Will Smith and Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan or some of these big celebrities achieve the goal and the dreams of their lifetime, and yet you can't lose 5 pounds. You can't save the $100 that you need to make a deposit on the gym membership. So there's a reason why that happens. It's not because they're better than you. Yeah, their lifestyle is different, but it doesn't mean that they're better than you. But there's something going on in you that you've got to look at and say, why am I not better than I was 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even a year ago? In 2019, I had this concept to write my third book. I wrote my first 2 books fairly quickly, From Here to There, Finding, Following, and Finishing Your Course. My second book, Inside the Mind of Champions. But I had another book that I wanted to write in 2019. But things got in the way, right? Had some life changes and some events that came along, and they just got in the way. So 2019, I didn't get the book done. 2020 hits, and I say again, I'm going to set this goal. I'm doing the book. The book's going to happen in 2020. And wouldn't you know it, 2 thunderbolts hit my life. First, of course, the pandemic. This world-class terrorist disease that came out of nowhere, whether it came from China, Japan, Europe, the U.S., it came. And it was fast and furious. It hit. So all of us are all of a sudden having to figure out, how do I adjust my life? I got to wear a mask. I got to stay at home. I got to work from home. I got pressures of business. So those things got in the way. And then secondly, I had a personal thunderbolt, the loss of my son. Unexpectedly, didn't see it coming, a big thunderbolt. Those are 2 pretty big reasons not to be focusing on doing a book. But you know what I said to myself? Life keeps going. So somehow I got myself up, and every weekend after doing my podcast shows, I would go home and I would create 2 hours to write on chapters, to keep adding a little bit each week until I got a full manuscript that I thought was a book. And then even after that, I gave it to a professional editor who looked at the book and says, you don't have a book. I'm going, what? What do you mean? I got 20,000 words there. He said, you don't have a book. But you know what? I didn't let that discourage me. I kept pushing on. I decided I'm going to have a book. And so I reformatted the book to be a spinoff of the programs like I'm sharing with you right now. And as I sit here and looked at everything that I went through, I am proud to say, here's the book. That's right. This book, Living Up in a Down World, Staying Steady in Steady Times, came out of unsteadiness, came out of personal challenges and difficulty, and now you can get the book in your hand. Of course, it's on Amazon, but that's not really the point. It was a goal that I didn't let slip by. I could have made excuses. I had plenty of good reasons. I had plenty of rationalizations. I was busy trying to manage everything, but I got this sucker done, and I achieved that goal. I didn't allow myself to be in the 85% of people who say that they're going to do something and don't do it. Yeah, maybe the book, I might think it's a little bit of a miracle because I don't even know when I look back how I did it, but the bottom line is I got it done. You can do the same thing. What are you putting off in your life? What are you making excuses about? What are you making rationalizations about? What are you working on to start doing your goal? Every day is a good time to work on your goal. Martin Luther King said, every time is the right time to do the right thing. And we're going to talk about why do 85% of people not achieve their goals. Because many of you watching me right now, you got some goals. You got some things you want to do. That's why you're searching around the web and you're looking for things that might want to motivate you and inspire you to get to your next episode, your next level, your next chapter, your higher dimension, the next best version of yourself. Nobody wants to say the same, right? When you're trolling on social media and scrolling and looking at people, we all see things that we want to have. We see things we want to do. We see things that we want to go. So everybody has some goal. If it's not a goal for you, then it's a goal for your family. It's a goal for your children. It's a goal for your business, your work. You should have some goal. That's an American thing. It's a world citizen thing. But how do you not be in that 85% that just doesn't increase their income, don't lose the weight, don't get healthier, don't change jobs, don't move out of the place that they've been saying they're going to move out of, don't start that business, don't launch that idea that you've been incubating for years that people tell you that you're good at, but it's just sitting on the shelf because you keep making excuses. So number one reason why most people are not able to achieve their goal is distractions. Distraction is a French word. And it means to dismember a thing by pulling it in multiple directions at one time. They used to distract people. That was their version of punishment, is they would strap you to an object and they would have horses, 6 horses that would pull you in 6 different directions at the same time, thus distracting you. So we've made it a euphemistic term. We don't call it distraction. We call it multitasking. Right? I'm a multitasker. I can do 6 things at once. I can drive, I can text, I can put on my makeup, I can eat my burger, I can tell the driver they're number 1, all at the same time, right? But really, you're not multitasking. Only 1% of people in the world are actually gifted to be multitaskers. They did studies on it. The other 99%, you are distracted. As I said, most of the time you look on social media and you are scrolling and you're looking at other people's images, where they're going. They're going to Paris. They just bought a new Range Rover. They just got a new house. You just got a new Louis Vuitton bag. They're eating lobster, shrimp, and you're sitting there eating tuna, right? So you're thinking, how do I bring that life to me? Right? And so now you're getting in that, and then you begin to think that maybe your life is less than what you're seeing on Facebook becomes a distraction. You think, why do I want to work on my goals when, hey, they already got their goals? Who needs another author? I could have said that. Who needs another author? There are millions of authors out there. There are millions of books already out there. Who needs another one? Because I have a passion and a distinctive mission that I want to get out. And so I don't care if I'm a million plus one, I'm going to be out there. And you got to have that mindset. Doesn't matter how many hip hop artists out there, how many rappers out there, how many opera singers are out there. You be the best version of yourself. Get out there and don't be distracted by watching what other people doing on Facebook. And by the way, just so you know, a lot of that is not real on Facebook. Okay, a lot of that is fake, right? Faux. It's not real. I've met people in person from seeing their Facebook and didn't even recognize it, right? Because they're using filters, colors, they're faking, they got green sets, pretending like they're on the beach when they're sitting in their house with a green screen behind them, right? Intimidating you, distracting you. Psychologists tell you, therapists say, that you shouldn't sleep with your phone. And the reason why you shouldn't sleep with your phone, because we have all these notifications on our app that sends us notifications, text notifications, email notifications, Facebook notifications, Instagram notifications. And when you hear that, your temptation is to pick it up and then start scrolling. Well, at a point of rest, you need rest. You don't need to be distracted by what's going on in somebody else's life. So one reason you're not achieving a goal is simply distraction. If you're just joining us, I'm Louis Howard Live. We're talking about how do you be the 15 or 20% to make your goal a reality and not be the 85% that by February or March have put their goals down, erased their vision board, and now they're just back to autopilot or whatever they were doing the year before. Time is too critical. Right? There's a lot of crazy things going on in the world, but there's a lot of opportunities right now. You got to be focused on what are my opportunities, right? What are my breaks? So distractions. And number 2 is life has beaten you down. That's an interesting saying. It's kind of like a hood saying, right? Life, you got to beat down. Life beat you down. The artist Nelly's, hip hop guy, one of my cool artists that I like to listen to, he's got a song that says, "And they say," N-D-A-Y-S-A-Y, right? And they say, and part of the lyrics of the song goes, you can tell that life has beaten him down, and he looks like that he's on his last round. Man, life can beat you down. This pandemic, this stay at home, this captivity, they call it quarantine, but it's actually captive. You're actually captive to the policies and the laws of your city, your state, and your county to where you operate. How do I know that? You can't leave home without a mask. You can't get served without a mask. You can't drink without a mask. You can't pick up your clothes from the dry cleaners without a mask. You are captive to the policy. Life can beat you down, right? We don't look at each other in the eye because we're wearing masks, right? Women don't, they can't look their best because they're all masked up, right? Face breaks out because the makeup is getting up to the mask. All these different things that's kind of affecting your self-esteem a little bit. That'll beat you down. Right? There's this thing called COVID fatigue that everyone's dealing with right now, which means they're just tired of dealing with the rules. When is this thing going to be over? When is this thing going to go away? When do we get the vaccine? When do we move on? Forget about the election. I'm tired of COVID. Right? Well, that'll beat you down. Your kids at home, 80% of the time, bugging you, right? Mommy, I need this. I need that. When do we go to school? I've heard more kids say they miss school, which I love. I wanted to record it and play it on the show. Kids are actually saying, we miss school. Because you know what? I think they're tired of their parents. They're tired of being with mom and dad. They want to go be with some friends. So life can wear you down. People are losing income. People are going through depression. People are going through addiction. No, they don't talk about that on CNN. That's not sexy. That's not popular. They'd rather talk about elections and who did what to who. But the reality is people are getting beat down by this pandemic. It's the same as always. The people on the street pay. It's the middle American. It's the average person trying to raise their family. They pay. And these are the people that need to set big goals. These are the individuals that need to pick up and not be distracted and not let life beat you down, right? Unrelenting disappointments will beat you down. If you keep having setbacks after setbacks after setbacks, it will beat you down to the point that you cannot get up. I carried for 8 years close to $2 million in debt. That's right, $2 million. Every day, I had an 800-pound gorilla on my back no matter where I went. When I came home, it was there. When I went to work, it was there. When I went to play, it was there. I couldn't get rid of it, and it started to wear me down. You couldn't have talked to me about setting big goals and doing big things because I was trying to deal with what was right in my face, the distractions, and these distractions were beating and wearing me down. You know why I look so good today? Because I got rid of the $2 million debt. It is gone. Bye-bye. Sayonara. See you later. Okay? That's a whole level of freedom if you've never experienced that. Will let you dream big, let you think big, and all of a sudden you get a whole new set of energy. So number one, distractions. Number two, life just beats you down. You're going through a divorce, you're going through a breakup, you're having a new child, you're having problems with your children. It's just things that'll wear you down. That's why 85% of people say, you know what, I don't have time to be setting a goal when I got to deal with things in your face. You got to find a way to deal with the things in your face and set your goals. I dealt with the things in my face, but I set the goal to write the book and I got the book done. No excuses, which is number three, excuses and rationalizations. My experience has taught me that human beings are the masters of making excuses. People are super creative when they are trying to get out of something they don't want to do. I have managed people for 20 plus years, and I have heard every excuse under the sun why people didn't show up for work, why they didn't carry out their responsibilities, or why they didn't get the job done. The dog ate my homework. I had a flat tire. I'm sick. I lost my GPS. My phone didn't go off, and it goes on and on and on. But the work didn't get done, right? You made an excuse. You found a rationalization of why you didn't do it, why you didn't complete the dream. It was too big. They wouldn't let me do it. I grew up hearing they. I went to, who is this they? Because they're some badasses. Because they don't let you do anything you want to do. Who are they? My life intention was to beat they, whoever they was, right? They won't let us do this. They. That's just an excuse and a rationalization. You got to get past that. You've got to get past that, right? The Uber was late. My car broke down. Just tons of excuses. And usually one of the common denominators I find when people are making excuses, it always belongs to somebody else. It's never their fault. It's always somebody else, right? It's the one-armed man. It's the other person. It's my ex-wife. It's my dad. It's my mom. It's the government. It's the white man. It's the black man. It's the Spanish man. It's the Asian man. It's somebody other than me, right? And I have a saying that says this: everywhere you go, there you are. Right? You are the common denominator, not other people. It's you. And so you have to make a decision of what excuses am I going to keep making to myself year after year after year? Some people's minds are on autopilot. The years just go by. It was 1999, then it was 2009, and it was 2019, and pretty soon it's going to be 2019 and 2029, and nothing will change in their life. They'll be the same, because they got excuse after excuse after excuse. Champions don't make excuses. Winners don't make excuses. When people get to the top of their mountain, they didn't get there making excuses, right? They pushed past the problem. So when you're faced with a challenge, a goal, or something that's bigger, you got to push past that thing. You can't let it beat you. You cannot let it beat you. And let me just tell you this before we close. The worst person in the world to lie to and make excuses is to yourself. I used to lie to myself, and that is the worst person to lie to, because you got to live with you. You got to see you every day. You got to look at yourself in the mirror, and if you know you're making excuses and reasons of why you're not achieving goals, then that's a terrible thing to have to face yourself and say, boy, I'm making excuses. Sometimes you just got to man up, woman up, put your big boy pants on and say, you know what? I'm done with the excuses. I'm done making reasons. I'm done lying to myself. I'm going to get the weight down. I'm going to get the better job. I'm going to get the bigger house. I'm going to get the new business. It's just going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to go for it. Whip distractions down to nothing. Beat distractions down. Don't let them beat you down. Beat the excuses down. Don't let them beat you down, right? That's why we're talking about make it for real in 2021. No more excuses. Make this thing happen. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. And when I come back, I'm going to give you a couple takeaways of now, how do you make this thing happen? How do you actually make the thing happen and become for real in 2020 and 2021 and 22 and 23 and 24 and 25? Hey, you're listening to Louis Howard Live. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick message.
The Millionaire Club charity is one of Seattle's oldest existing charities. In addition to job placement and employment services, the Millionaire Club provides job training and licensing to help workers become qualified and job ready, from nutritious meals and sack lunches to housing assistance to stabilize their lives. Despite its name, the donors to the Millionaire Club are ordinary citizens with a desire and passion to help fellow citizens overcome the barriers of employment and housing. For more information, call 206-728-JOBS or go to millionaireclub.org.
Thank you for joining Louis Howard Live. You've joined a conversation about making it for real in 2021, making the goal, the task, the assignment, the to-do, right? The interest, the passion. This is your year. This is your year. This is your time to learn how to play that piano, to learn how to sing, to pick up that guitar, to write that book, to paint that painting, to take that trip, to study abroad, to get back in school. This is your time. So how do you do that? How do you improve your chances of not being in the 85% that lets their resolutions, their goals just go by the wayside? Well, number one is you need direction. Nobody starts out on a trip without a direction. A pilot who's going to fly you someplace has GPS, has a directive. He has instrument flight rules and visual flight rules that will take you to your destination. You do not want to get on a plane where the pilot doesn't have a direction. There's no telling where you might end up. I don't like to drive with people that don't have a direction. Where are we going? When are we going to get there? Right? Aren't you thankful for the app Waze? Because Waze give you direction, right? And it talks to you doing the direction. So if you get off, it will tell you, recalculating, getting you back on. If you're going to have a goal and you're going to have a plan, you need a direction. Number 2 is you need to underpromise and over-deliver. Too many people overpromise their goals. They shoot too high. It's too big, right? If you made $10,000 last year, it's unreasonable to set a goal that you're going to make $1 million this year. That's too big, right? How about doubling your income? How about to say I'm going from $10,000 a year to $20,000 a year, right? And then if you achieve above that, that's awesome. But the problem is if you set it too high, you're going to get disappointed. You can always adjust up, but it's a psychological nightmare to start adjusting down. When you're halfway through the year and you realize you're not going to get there and you start bringing it down. Even if you get to the lower number, you don't feel like you won the game. So if you underpromise, and this goes with relationships, this goes with partnerships, underpromise something to someone. One of my car dealerships used to underpromise the time that they were going to get the car. They would say, hey, the car will be ready for pickup at 3 o'clock. They would call me at 2 o'clock or 2:30 and said, hey, the vehicle is ready. I'm thinking, that's awesome. I got an extra hour or 30 minutes. Now imagine if the same car dealer who told me that the car was going to be ready at 3 called me at 4:30, okay, or called me at 5. Now I'm frustrated. Yeah, the car is ready, but I'm frustrated because you told me it was going to be ready at 3. Right? If you tell somebody that you're going to meet them at a certain time, if I'm going to meet you there at 4 o'clock, don't show up at 4:30. You overpromised and you underdelivered. Yes, you showed up, but you're late. You're late. Okay? If you tell your spouse you're going to clean the yard or do something and you don't do it, or you do it 2 days later, you didn't do it. You overpromise. And people wonder why relationships erode, why people don't count on you. When they have big projects and big things that they want to do, they don't call on you because you overpromise and you underdeliver. Stop watching too much Tony Robbins. Okay, you're not going to be Tony Robbins. Stop trying to walk on water or firewalk. Just be the authentic version of yourself. Promise what you can deliver, no more, no less. You'll achieve your goal. Number 3 is examine your motives. I hear a lot of people say they want to be rich. They want to make a lot of money. But I don't hear a lot of people saying why they want to make a lot of money. That's the American thing. It's the Western thing. Why do you want to make a lot of money? Why do you want to be rich, right? Because there are people that have been rich. There are people that won the lottery and they were rich, right? They were worth $100 million, $200 million. But you know what? They didn't know why they wanted to be rich. And you know what happened? 10 years later, they're broke. That's right. They're broke because they didn't have a motive for the money. So guess what? Somebody else had a motive for the money. And they ended up giving the money away or spending the money on lifestyle and wasting it. Know the reason why you want to achieve a goal. Why do you want to learn how to play music? Why do you want to learn how to paint? Why do you want to be a big speaker? Everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to have 1 million followers on Instagram. Why? Why? Just so you can say, I got 1 million followers? No. You know why I do this show? Because I want to help you become the best version of yourself. I want to help you achieve your goal. That's why I want 1 million people to follow me, because I want to teach you some things that I believe can make a difference in your life, right? You give me $1 million, I'm going to use it to travel around and use it to motivate and inspire people. So you have to understand, what is your motivation? What's your inspiration for getting up every day and doing the things that you do? You got to examine it. You got to ask yourself that. What are your motives? Why do I want to be popular on Facebook? Because it's the cool thing to be? Because I can walk into the bar, to the restaurant and say, hey, I'm cool. I got 500 likes because I posted some food. Women get likes because they take off half their clothes, right? Why do you want to do that? So think about why. What is your motivation? Because that'll help drive your goals. Why do you want to lose the weight, right? Why do you want to be healthy, right? Because I want to live a long life. I want to get to 120 years of age, right? And look good at it. That's why I want to be healthy. So ask yourself, because that's a key thing, because I've seen people with wrong motives, especially around money. I've had friends making millions of dollars and they just abused it. They just wasted it, right? I'm not saying it's not a bad thing to have 7 cars and 3 houses, but if it's all just to throw in somebody's face that don't have the money, I'm not sure the motives are the best for that, right? But if you're using it to make a difference, one of the simple things that I used to do, I don't do it as often, but I would be in line and I would see somebody struggling with their groceries or coming up short with their money, and I'm watching them, and you know what I would do? I'd pay for their groceries. That's what money will do for you. It'll allow you to be generous. It'll allow you to do things for your family, for people around you, for the poor, for affordable families. Man, you can do a lot of good with money if you got the right motives, but you can also do a lot of evil with money if you got the wrong motives. So examine your motives about why you want to have your success and why you want to have your goal. That'll increase your trajectory in getting there. Number 4 is take larger steps but less movement, right? We got this thing of every day I'm hustling, right? I'm 24/7. I'm 366 days a year. I'm moving fast. I'm moving fast. I'm moving fast. I know people posting video stories every 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes on Instagram, right? Why don't you learn how to take bigger steps, right? Why don't we walk down and get them all instead of running down and getting a few? Okay, I'd rather take my time and get them all. Think bigger, but think, how do I take less steps? We used to call it, how do I work smart and not hard? Okay, how do I get the same results as the guy working 15 hours a day, breaking his back, tired, can't play with his kids, and I can get the same result done, and I'm full of energy. I can go make a show. I can write a book. I can go do a development. I can go motivate. I can go coach. I can still do a bunch, and I got the same thing done. You know why? Because I took less steps, but I made a bigger impact. So think about that. And number 5, and lastly, is lucky breaks. Sometimes it is better to be lucky than good, right? So when you're setting your goals, what you want to do is believe for some lucky breaks. Sometimes you just get that break that you didn't even plan on. So all you life coaches out there and you planners and you high C people that vision board your way through life and strategize your way through life and vertical 1 through 10 your life, you need to make room for sudden breaks, lucky breaks, because that'll do more to push you up the hill. I can't tell you the number of lucky breaks that I've got that I wasn't even planning on. Phone calls that came, emails that came, and I'm thinking, bam, I'm taking this break because that will help me do my goal more than going to the gym 4 times a week, more than having to work 15 hours a day. Boom, I'm there. You look for the lucky break, and sometimes the break does not come from the people, the places, or the things that you expect. You got to keep your mind open for that one. So goals don't work unless you do. And I have a saying that says, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And so I'm hoping that out of this whole thing today, you got one thing that might say, bam, I'll take that one. Bam, I'll try that one. Bam, I won't be distracted. Bam, I'm not making excuses. Bam, I'm off social media for a month so I can get focused, right? Find something that you can get in. I'm altering my motives here a little bit so I can use my gifts and talents and abilities for more positive things instead of just throwing it in people's faces that, didn't let me date them when I was younger or rejected me. Yeah, that's good motivation, but it probably leads you in the wrong direction. So, hey, thank you for joining us. As always, you can get us on YouTube channel, The Lewis Howard Live. You can get us on Blog Talk on the audio version, and we appreciate it. And shout out to our partners here at Mob Studios, where we're doing our production from. We want to keep it going, and I'm looking forward to another edition of Lewis Howard Live, helping you become the best version of yourself.